The Gretna Police Department fired 2 officers today for posts on Facebook suggesting a New York congresswoman should be shot.
Well, Chief Arthur Lawson announced the firing of 14-year veteran Charlie Rispoli for posting the violent suggestion on Facebook, and 2-year officer Angelo Varisco for liking the post. Here's David Hammer with details.
On Friday, our partners at the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate notified Gretna Police Chief Arthur Lawson about Officer Charlie Rispoli's Facebook post, calling Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez a vile idiot who needs a round. And I don't mean the kind she used to serve when she was a bartender. By Monday, Lawson had fired Rispoli and another officer who liked his post, Angelo Varisco.
Alluding to a violent act to be conducted against a sitting U.S. congressman, a member of our government. We're not going to tolerate that.
The news of Rispoli's Facebook post caught fire over the weekend, leading to stories in Newsweek, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and others.
This incident, we feel, has been an embarrassment to our department.
Lawson said his officers had just undergone training about what kinds of comments they can make on social media.
And, you know, with all of those efforts, something like this still happens. And that's very disturbing.
Lawson said both officers worked mostly in court and city facility security. Neither had ever worked the streets, and Rispoli had only made 2 arrests in 14 years on the force. The chief said he spoke to Rispoli wanting to find out why he would post such a thing about Ocasio-Cortez. A self-identified Democratic socialist, Ocasio-Cortez has been targeted by President Donald Trump recently, who tweeted that the New York native should go back to her home country.
And I think he just got caught up in the heat of the moment. I mean, this wasn't even a real news article.
And that's another big part of this story. The so-called article that Rispoli shared and commented on was completely made up, posted and clearly marked as satire by someone who says he trolls the alt-right with fake stories about liberal politicians like Ocasio-Cortez. And Karen and Katie, coming up at 6 o'clock, I speak to the man who posted that story, and he says that this was a big victory for the left that these 2 officers were fired today.
All right, look forward to your story. Of course, it made national news, too. Thank you.